day 1. Well, it's about that time again. We made our annual trip to Costa Rica, Pura Vida, starting off with leaving from New Orleans on Spirit Flight 666. Yeah. Jenny, of course, spent the flight looking at toads for some reason. Toads?
Busted.
I mean, they are pretty cute. I got a new book called The Demon Haunted World by Carl Sagan. It's a nice read, by the way. We met my sister Clarice at the airport that she's been sitting at for the past 6 hours. We then went to the rental car company, which was called Vamos. Got whatever this little red vehicle is. Y'all excited?
I'm so excited!
Look at this little thing. All right. And of course drove to the mall in San Jose. I found cherry flavored 7-Up. We're gonna have to try one of these. 7-Up cherry? I didn't know that existed. Is 7-Up siete arriba in Espanol? That's what I need to know. We started driving south out of San Jose and stopped at the Rio Tarcoles Bridge. And for some reason, well, there's been big companies that have been buying up all of the mom and pop stores and are now installing a new scenic walkway over the river, which has apparently required a lot of construction within the river. All right, so this is where they're building the Sky Bridge, and it looks like they're kind of constructing the mountain here. There goes a log down the river. That's kind of interesting, like a tree. But look how close these cows are, Jenny just saw.
There's never been water before.
Yeah. So I guess what's new in Costa Rica, you know? This is happening all over the place. We only saw one crocodile probably because of this underneath the bridge. After driving a bit further, we made it to our first hostel, which was called Hostel de Han. All right, we made it to our first hotel room. These two already put toilet paper down the toilet and messed it all up.
There's nowhere to go. Making sure the shame.
All right, but we were in Hostel de Han.
The best hostel.
The best hostel in Jaco. Jaco. All right, let's go grab some dinner. We got our first taste of some authentic Costa Rican food, walked to the beach at night to get our toes in the sand a little bit, and then cheered on some guy jumping off the second floor walkway at the hostel into the pool while probably severely intoxicated. Day 2. We saw whatever these little graffiti things are outside of the hostel in the morning, and then started driving to the town of Pepos. Look, there's some guy with a big old piece of lumber while riding a bicycle. Good for him. Anyway, on the way we saw that there was some park by the beach called Parque Naomi and saw a sea turtle floating in the ocean. And so obviously we had to snorkel this park and see whatever else was in the ocean here. The water was pretty darn clear, and there was some structures for fish to hide in and some natural reef and whatever this fish is, which actually I think is a guinea fowl puffer fish. I put that into iNaturalist. How adorable. All right, not bad for a free stop along the way. We got a bite to eat with some more Costa Rican food for lunch and then moved on to our next hostel or hotel called Guest Pura Vida. They had some adorable little puppies running around and a few parrots that would visit us in the morning by our window. We ended up walking a trail to Playa Bisans and saw some sloths and trees on the beach. And then that's the first time I've ever seen that, by the way. Pretty neat. There were also some gnarly trees along the way with big spikes. Just living in the moment here in Costa Rica. This beautiful view.
I'm posting a picture using the Wi-Fi of the view that we're enjoying.
I'm looking at all the pictures I've taken. Now that I know how to use this
We're
camera
living
better.
in the moment, Pura Vida.
You want to see it? That's Noah and Jenny.
Where? Oh yeah, that was a rock I found. We were showing it off. That was good. We also had our first night walk that night as well, but didn't see a terrible amount of animals. There were a million rain frogs out and some hermit crabs crawling up the mountain. Day 3. I think Costa Rica is having elections soon, so there were some political announcements being made, like this car driving by. Giant speaker. We decided to hike to a waterfall called El Salto, which required us to traverse this rickety bridge. So of course I made sure that Jenny and Clarice went first and make sure that it was safe for me and I wouldn't get hurt. It looks like they made it. I should be good. It was a nice trail in nearly pristine jungle, and there was this stuffed animal otter. We got to the waterfall and I decided to jump off of it. Unfortunately, the water was only about a foot deep and I ended up breaking my legs and we had to go all the way home for surgery. Just kidding, the water was about 10 feet deep. There wasn't a lot to see underwater, but we still gave it our best shot to snorkel it a bit. And then later that day we drove to Uvita and walked the river at night. We found our first few snakes here. First was a cat-eyed snake that was super chill. I even got my sister to hold it. Look how happy she is. On a trail, we saw this masked tree frog, which seemed to be injured in some way. Not really sure what was going on with him. I think he may have fallen high from a tree and was disoriented. Oh well. There were a lot of cicadas molting. Leafcutter ants were doing a number to the plants here as well. Day 4. We spent the day at the beach in Uvita with some spiny-tailed iguana friends. They are pretty territorial and fight with one another. Yikes. Then later that night, we did a night tour with the Uvita Night Walks. Clarice ended up finding this really cool tarantula, and there were a few really awesome insects along the trails. I think this beast of a masked tree frog really took the cake, though. I also got my favorite Central American drink, pear juice. That shit's amazing. Day 5. We started the day off at a local market that had some hippie people selling some magic crystals and stuff like that. This is when we started driving north again as well, so we stopped at Playa Hermosa to chill on the beach and get sunburned. We continued north to Dominical, where I had to throw out my old and broken sandals for some new flippy floppies, and finally made it to Capos once again. There were lots of birds here from North America. You can hear them in the streets here. That night, we stayed at Riverside Bungalows so we could walk their trail at night, and it was a good one. We started out with this beautiful glass frog on a pretty pink leaf. We also saw this absolute tank of a cockroach chilling on the tree, some crazy spiky plants, this blunt-headed snake, and some spiders hanging out with this green anole right here. Day 6. We continued our trip north and stopped at Jaco for a little sunset beach action and Pura Vida.
So there's like a barrier. Hey, can I put your wallet in my bag here?
Yeah.
Like this? And then I'll go like here. Oh, I'm gonna be in that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's a video.
Hi.
I've just been filming this whole time.
Hi.
Yeah. But it's our last day,
I know.
kind of. Well, and it's a beach day. Ended up stumbling upon a hatchling sea turtle release. After that, we had the ridiculously boring 4-hour drive from Jaco to San Jose. This trip is only supposed to take about an hour and a half, but at night on a Sunday, it's very painful. Day 7. I drove my sister to the airport at 5:30 in the morning, and Jenny and I flew back at 1:30 in the afternoon. We had a nice little window seat in the back, and Jenny got some great photos, as you can see. After finally making it back to New Orleans last night, we made it to New Orleans with our boots. Let's see, where are those boots at? There they are. We walked around the French Quarter in the morning, and I'll leave it with this street band we saw. Pura Vida.